Welcome to the streets of Paris. Today we are going to be going around to some of the best food spots in the entire city. This is one of my absolute favorite food cities in the entire world, and I think it is probably the best in the entire world. So we're going to hit up some markets, hit up some of the best food spots in the entire city. So join us today as we go through the best food spots in the city. Stop number one, we're gonna get a croissant and a coffee. Stop number one is, for me, always a coffee and a croissant at a boulangerie. Every single neighborhood has these everywhere, so you can always get probably the best croissant you'll ever have. So that's stop number one. Let's jump ahead and show you our second favorite foodie spot. Stop number two is in a different arrondissement, or a different neighborhood. So we are going to use one of my favorite ways of getting around Paris, the bikes. To Rue Cler. This is one of the most famous market streets in Paris and a must-do for anyone that loves food. This is the 7th arrondissement. It is one of the fancier, I guess, neighborhoods in Paris. We're right next to the Eiffel Tower. There's a lot of cheese shops, butchers, bakeries, really anything that you could want if you love food. So let's show you around this market street, Rue Cler. A market street in Paris, a must-go-to if you love food, markets, really anything at all. There's lots of great restaurants as well. But we picked up a few small things and we're going to jump to our next stop on our tour. So we're at our next stop, which is the Luxembourg Gardens. This isn't a market or necessarily a food stop, but this is a great place to have a picnic. So if you find yourself on this side of Paris or in this arrondissement, grab some food at a boulangerie or like we did at Rue Cler and find a spot in the gardens to have a really nice picnic. So we're going to jump in and do that now. Finished our picnic here and we've managed to avoid the rain. Just as I say that though, it starts to sprinkle a little bit more. So we are going to finish up, try and get somewhere a little bit warmer. The next place we're going is somewhere that if you enjoy sweets, if you enjoy baked goods, I recommend every single time you check this place out. So let's check out our next stop on our tour. So if you love sweet things, you're gonna love our next stop. We're going to a patisserie, a bakery. We're gonna sit down and have what I think is the best macaroon in Paris. Afternoon tea at Laduree, which I really highly recommend. They have a regular shop as well if you just want to get some macarons. They're great and you can take them away, or you can do what we did and go in the tea room and have a little hot chocolate and a macaron. So we are going to leave this side of the river. We're going to jump over to the other side of the river for our next spot. We'll keep it a secret. We'll show you in just a second where we're headed next. So we're at our next stop, which is just behind me. It's a covered market. There are lots of covered markets in this city, but this is one of the oldest ones and one of my favorites. I've been here a few times before. Really recommend if you like markets, this is a great place to go. It's Les Marche Off Rouge. The market dates back to something like the 1600s or something like that. It's really, really old. There's lots of great restaurants. You can go for lunch. We're here a little later in the day, so we're not going to eat, and I think a few of the restaurants are closed, so it's not as bustling as it usually is. But it's a covered market, and seeing as it just started raining here again, it'd be nice to get out of the rain a little bit. So let's jump inside and show you these Marche Off Rouge. The Enfant Rouge market, Marche des Enfants Rouges. There's lots of covered markets in Paris, so wherever you're staying, I'd really recommend checking one out. Les Enfants Rouges is just a fantastic one to check out. So we're in the Marais right now, so this is one of my favorite neighborhoods in Paris. We're going to walk through here. It's a little loud street noise, but we're going to walk through here to our next stop, and we'll show you that in just a second. So the first time I went to Paris, the first thing I did was eat a crepe. It's, I think, a really traditional thing, but also really touristy. When you walk by the Eiffel Tower, you see all the crepe stands and everything like that. We thought about including that on the list, but then we thought a little bit more and thought about one of the times we were here. We went to this place just behind me, and they do an incredible both sweet and savory crepe. So let's jump inside, and we'll show you these two different ways of preparing this classic French dish. Sweet and a savory crepe. Sweet crepes, I think, are really traditional for Paris. You can get Nutella, lemon, sugar, any of those types of things. The savory crepes are more traditional for up north. I think Brittany is where they come from. So they're both really, really good. The next time you're in Paris, jump to a creperie and have one of those, or by the Eiffel Tower, wherever you get one, just get a crepe. They're just fantastic here. So let's jump to our next and final recommendation for things to do in Paris. So we decided yesterday that we'd eaten too much, and we were going to take the night off from eating, and we were going to go out tonight and show you our last spot. You might notice I got a haircut as well, so I look a little bit different. It's a lot nicer. But our last spot on our spots for a foodie to eat is to eat at a bistro, a real French restaurant. Obviously, they do French food just incredibly in this country. A good tip is there's lots of Michelin-starred restaurants around here, but they can be quite expensive. If you go to the Michelin guide, you can find the places that don't have stars, but they're in the guide as well, so they're just fantastic spots. So we found one of those in the 9th arrondissement, so we'll show you that now. So that was the last stop on our foodie tour of Paris, the French restaurant, the French bistro. It's a must-do. Check out the Michelin site for just fantastic restaurants, especially if you look at the ones that don't have stars but are still in the guide. So we hope you enjoyed all the stops that we made on this tour of Paris. If you did, hit the like button below, really helps out our channel. If you have your own recommendations in Paris, leave a comment. And of course, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all the videos that we're producing, recipes and tours of various cities. So until next time, we'll see you in the next video.